Hey, welcome back. Been a busy week. Got a couple of teams that aren't playing. The Big Ten's deal is 21 days, so interesting with Wisconsin and what's going on there. The SEC, Florida's finally going to get back to playing this week. A lot of moving parts, and going to continue to be a lot of moving parts between now and game day. We do and will be announcing game day in a couple of days. Our date and time, we've got a great time slot, it looks like, working with ESPN and the conferences. Our biggest question, our biggest problem right now is to figure out what happens once we select teams and they get here to Jacksonville and all of a sudden somebody comes down with COVID. So that was the stadium. Who knows why that blinked? I want you to know I didn't certainly do anything about that. But there's a lot of backdoor stuff that I'd like to open up to you and let you know what's going on. Clearly, we're negotiating now with the Southeastern Conference on team payouts, how long the teams are going to be here, where we're going to put them in what hotels, what kind of events we can have for them, because we don't really expect them to be here but 2 days. Once you get the SEC side of it kind of put together and it's in a box over here, we think then we can get the ACC deal done. I'm talking to the ACC office tomorrow at 9, and we will have the ability to know kind of what the financial terms and ramifications are going to be. So a lot of moving parts there. The good news is TaxSlayer has been a great partner and will continue to be a great partner, and we finished the negotiations with them. We're going to fly up, Katie and I, up there to talk to them on Monday to get an idea what they're going to do for hospitality and who's coming, et cetera. You know, those are a lot of the things that we do. I guess the bottom line on this is that things we don't ever have to worry about that are kind of duplicated every year are now under negotiations and trying to figure out how we're going to make it work. So all of that is really kind of what we're doing here. At the same time, my staff working with the Jaguars have begun game operations, game officiating, how we're going to do the officials, when are they going to come in. Everything's just changed so much. But the good news is that board right there, that's going to change, but we're going to have some of those teams. The SEC, on the SEC side, you can see what's going on. You know, Georgia and Alabama are probably showing that they're the best two teams. I think you can take Florida and a couple other teams and throw them in a bag. And then we've got some teams that'll probably be at the lower half. So we're looking at that mid-range SEC team right now. Outside of Alabama and Georgia, I think everybody else is in our mix. On the ACC side, I was happy to see Florida State win a game and then come back and lose. Hopefully they can win some games and have a decent year. I really started my career with Mac Brown in North Carolina. It'd really be good for my last game to have North Carolina and Mac Brown back in my game. Mac's got them playing very, very well. I think Virginia Tech's doing well. Obviously, Clemson is the cream of that piece of it. So I'd really like to maybe next week, we'll talk a little bit about the big game here in Jacksonville, but really talk about the details, and I'll make a list where we can kind of hit on the high points of those things that are different this year than normal, outside of not having committee meetings and those kinds of things, but the inner operations of the organization. I think that might be something you'd be interested in. In the meantime, I guess Florida's back with Missouri, and somebody asked me the other day, how do you think Florida will do against Missouri? And you know, my selection process has been really good. I think the first week out of 10, I got 4 right. Last week, I think I got 5 right. So anything I say cannot be held against me in a court of law, but I think Florida will win big. And we'll just see how it goes from there. Like South Carolina playing a little bit better, like for them to get in our mix. Miami certainly is in our mix. So a lot going on, kind of roaming around here because of everything that's been going on at the office the last couple of days, and this remote stuff's driving me crazy. I do want to say that if John Deuce does pick better than I did, since he's the celebrity picker, that I will cut my hair. So John, thank you for the challenge. You better be good at it. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, well, it's my pleasure to be this week's celebrity picker, although I think it's going to be a pretty easy gig from the numbers I've gotten. Rick has picked 2 weeks, and I believe he's under 500. So this may not be a tall task, but I'm pleased to go head to head with Rick. And if he doesn't go 500, I maybe suggest that it's time to get a haircut for him. So anyways, here we go. First off, LSU and Auburn. I think the Cats are already out of their 9 lives. They've been too lucky all year. And that's the Auburn Cats Tigers. So I'm taking LSU. I'm going to pick my Florida Gators to rebound over Missouri, Texas A&M over Arkansas, and I like MAC 2.0 at Carolina, even though they stubbed their toe with the Seminoles. So I'm going to take Carolina over Virginia. My first upset will be Louisville over Virginia Tech. And then I think Oklahoma State gets it done with over the lowly Longhorns of Texas. Second upset is I'm taking Kansas State over West Virginia. And then I like one of our last year's participants in the bowl, Indiana, looking good. So I'm taking Indiana over Rutgers. Then Ohio State's back in the mix over Penn State. So I'll take the Buckeyes. And then finally, Cincinnati gets it done over Memphis. So I wish you good luck.